This inmate chewed his own father's heart. Pedro Rodrigues Vilheu, Brazil's most notorious vigilante killer. He took his first life at just 14 after a politician fired his father. When a gang murdered his pregnant fiancée, Pedro launched a brutal revenge spree, killing 7 people at a wedding and injuring 16 more. Locked up at 18, he continued killing behind bars. More than 40 inmates, many of them rapists and murderers. His shocking act came when he killed his own father, who had murdered Pedro's mother. He went on to chew his heart as an act of revenge. Released due to a legal loophole, Pedro later tried to reinvent himself on YouTube before being assassinated in 2023. Robert Maudsley, often called Hannibal the Cannibal, even though he didn't actually eat anyone. After a childhood filled with abuse, Maudsley killed a man who bragged about hurting children. Declared unfit for trial, he was sent to Broadmoor Hospital, where he murdered again in a horrific attack that cemented his reputation. He put a spoon in someone's brain. Moved to Wakefield Prison, he killed 2 more inmates and has spent 46 years in solitary confinement, longer than anyone in UK's history. His custom-built cell looks straight out of The Silence of the Lambs. But the most explosive inmate on this shortened list is Charles Bronson, the man many call Britain's most violent prisoner. Originally jailed for armed robbery, Bronson spent decades causing chaos, attacking guards and inmates, riding on rooftops, and even running around his cell naked with a makeshift spear made from a broom and a broken bottle. He's held nearly a dozen people hostage and once covered himself in butter to fight guards after his least favorite soccer team won. Yeah, despite never killing anyone, he's considered too dangerous to release and remains one of the UK's most infamous inmates. Finally, there's Niels Hogel, the German ICU nurse believed to be one of the deadliest serial killers in modern history. Hospitals noticed a spike in emergencies and deaths whenever he was on shift, and for good reason. Hogel injected patients with drugs that triggered cardiac arrest, so he could revive them, or at least try to. He eventually admitted to killing dozens, but investigators believe the real number could be as high as 200, making him one of the most prolific killers ever recorded. And here's the wild part. These are only 4 of the 8 inmates on our full list. The others include a global serial killer who fed victims to crocodiles, a woman whose crimes inspired an Oscar-winning film, and a murderer whose nickname alone will give you nightmares. Check out our full-length video on the deadliest inmates in history, and now you can tell your friends why.